What's going on, everybody? Monty here again. Another video with you with this Mac Mini M1. This World of Warcraft, I know I already showed a video on it. Just wanting to do a little bit more in-depth testing. Currently, I just turned the computer on. We're at 33 Celsius here on the right side. Whenever I booted it up, it was about 20 Celsius. It was about 65 Fahrenheit in this room when I first came in here, but now it's about 70. So I do got my Demon Hunter here. I stopped playing this guy. It's been a little while. But just to give you an idea of what FPS is like. It looks like 70, 80 frames per second in battle. So really not bad FPS at all. It's really crazy that how things get optimized and it just runs really smooth. I mean, this is WoW, but I gotta say Blizzard did a pretty good job with optimizing this for Mac. I mean, I know the settings are on low besides like the good texture settings. Because if I zoom in on this guy, check it out. Look how clear that looks. That's still clear, right? Really, really good. Tell me if you can tell a difference. Barely. These are my graphic settings I have currently. Full screen, window size is default. 3440 by 1440. Anti-aliasing, that shows off. Vertical sync on enabled. Texture resolution high. Spell density essential. Projected textiles enabled. I turn everything on low right here for view distance, environmental detail, ground clutter, shadow quality, liquid, sun shafts on low, particle density good, number of particles inside spells, fires, etc. I could probably even put that on low and my frames per second stay more consistent. So you kind of get to a point where you're getting good FPS, but once you get in a battle, it drops, right? It drops 20, 30, and it's enough to notice. So, I mean, especially if you're a melee class, but if you put that on low, it kind of gives you like a buffer pad, right? So you're not going to hit it probably as often or if any at all. Depth effects, I could probably turn this off. What is this? Controls rendering and depth-based particle effects. We could disable that. Why not? Outline mode, we can keep that on. So I turn a lot of settings off now, and this is a lot smoother than it was before. I mean, an I-beam, everything still looks good. So, like I said, changing a couple settings, just like look at the game, it still looks, to me it looks good. I'm jealous of that guy flying. I don't have flying here. Yeah, I don't have flying. I don't even know where I'm at. This Quill Top. Stormsong Valley, okay. I don't want to exit. 33 Celsius plan. 40 shows 44% RAM usage, 22% CPU load. This is crazy. This really is crazy to think, and I'm accepting it, but it's still crazy to think this is where we're at. "22-minute queue." I don't want to do that. All right, you guys remember how Suramar was, right? How heavy that was. Let's go check out Suramar. I want to see some. There we go. I'd even say 80 frames is acceptable. 60 frames, really. Heck, you might even be able to go down to 30 and still be good. Though I don't know how I don't know how I would feel about going to 30, but I mean, if you really wanted to play this, you could. This is just crazy. There's somebody following me. My Archmage. As you guys know, Suramar is really, really heavy as far as just a lot going on. And I'm still getting 90 frames. Look at all these little NPC guys all around everywhere. I'm still getting pretty good FPS. I mean, there's a lot of models going on, a lot of things going on right now. There's probably, I don't know, 40, 50 guys probably right here, if not more. Maybe 100. Everybody, every little model doing its own interaction. Let me just drop off. Just give you an idea. There's just so many. Still really good frames. Still looks really, really good. All the models look great. There's Dalaran right there. And I have, you know, as you've seen me turn on too, which is to kill the frames, is view distance is on 10. And so look at how good it looks. It's still getting acceptable frames. You could run it like this for sure. Somebody killed this guy. Remember having to do these quests over here. Still really good frames. Really, really good frames. Now, I didn't do the raid here, but I do remember doing all of these side quests. Just time is just flying by. Here's a rare. I think this is the raid. I think right over here. Just wow, this frames, man. There's a guy that was blocking. It's been a really, really long time. Suramar City of the Night Hold. That's what it was. Look how good that looks, and my FPS is not tanking at all. I'd like to do a raid on here to show you guys like the performance, but this guy will screw me up. So the more detail I get in the frame, the lower get. Still 66, 65, 68. That's still good. No jagged edges, nice and sharp. On a Mac Mini, guys, $6.99, and my temperature is only 35°C right now. 35°C. I'm using, let me see, 15% CPU. WoW is using a total of 5 gigabytes of RAM. World of Warcraft. Okay, so now memory pressure. You could see here, we didn't see this yesterday playing the games, but you could see now that I'm in Suramar, I'm only using a 700 megs cached, or swapped. I'm using a gigabyte cached, 6.92 memory used, but even orange, not even using really that much swap at all, not even a gig. And I'm at view distance max, that's why it's using so much. If I lowered that, it would be a lot less. But, I mean, just look at how good this game looks on max setting. Let's see. What's another one? Environmental detail. That's going to show more objects. So this zoomed out. I'm all the way in, I'm on I'm in Stormheim. Check that out. 80 frames a second, still flying. Pretty good, right? Little pirate ship, whatever that is. You guys probably, a lot of you guys probably remember, if you guys played this game, remember doing all these quests here back in the Legion days. Really acceptable. I was wanting to fly around in Northrend, but I figured a lot of these models, everything we're seeing here is a lot more updated. I was never crazy on Val'Sharah or Azuna. A lot of fog. Here we go. See my FPS tanking now that I'm with the fog. 57, 58. I'm back to 90 again. Shit. Just the detail on this ship is a lot. This Mac is just not having any problems at all. 35C, my memory pressure went down to green again. 600 megabyte swap. 6.7 memory used. Okay, I'm gonna log out. This is my favorite zone in this expansion. Very playable still. Yeah. My keybind's set for the most part, so I mean it's the only difference is I don't have my thumb buttons for my Razer Naga, but that's okay. Try and multi-pool some for you guys to get an idea. Seems like at least the talents and all that are the same. So you see my frames. I just killed, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these guys, these little ravens. You know, and I could probably... I'll do something for you guys. I'll tank a dungeon. Why not? Random heroic. I don't know if I could do that. I'll do a random dungeon. Why not? Look at that. You be a tank, you get instant Q. Should I do this? Will you guys sit and watch for another 30 minutes? Why not? What's my temperature right now? 36C? Memory use 6.61, swap 600 megs. We'll do a dungeon. What dungeon is this going to be? At least with a dungeon run, it's kind of representative of... like, you guys will be able to see exactly what it's like doing a 5-man. Obviously, this isn't Classic, so I don't have 40 people together. The Classic is going to have a lot, the graphics and all that. It's going to be a lot less in this. Therefore, it's probably not going to be as... I doubt it'll be as intensive. But here is... I don't know what dungeon this is. I think I know. Toll Dagger. I do not remember this instance at all. I think I remember. Gosh, it's been so long since I played this. So the only like difference like in me playing right now is I just don't have my Razer Naga hooked up, and I'm not using my Corsair keyboard. Other than that, everything's identical. It is. I'll admit it is a little weird playing this game with a Magic Keyboard, just because the keys it just does not feel like there's any travel, and they're really flat. But if you're in a pinch, you could definitely easily raid on this if you had to. I haven't done this. I'm pretty sure I'm doing everything right, but I haven't done this and I don't even remember. It's been so long. Come on, guys. Dump some of this rage. I like bear tanking too, by the way. I don't know if you guys like that or not. I got a warrior too. I got all the classes. So, I don't know, playing in a group with view distance and the other guy on max. I mean, in a dungeon, I could probably turn those off. So everybody, the other 4 tunes that I'm playing with, you see... Okay, so see the sandstorm? That dropped my frames down to 35, 33. You know, I could still move, so that's all that really matters to me. But now I jump back up. So certain effects, obviously, Shadowlands, it'll cause it to go down a little. But again, you can turn... I got the view distance. I'm kind of looking out right here. All of that. That very well could be causing me to drop some frames, like lose some frames down too. I could probably... So if I point down... Okay, so it's still about the same. I'm getting a little bit more. Still more than playable, especially for a $699 computer. That was like, that's what I would be like skeptical about. So it goes back to 1. It's like what you'd be able to, like what games you'd be able to play. And I think I said that in the previous video, that there just didn't seem like there's a whole lot of games. Well, I actually went on Steam and I was checking out Steam. There's a lot of games. You click the selector for what operating system you're on, and you click Mac OS. There's a lot. There really is a lot of games. I don't remember how this goes. Over here. There's a lot of effects. There are a lot of things going on right now. 50, 60 frames a second. Got a monk doing his flying kick thing. That's cool. That's the cool thing about it that I'm not seeing any other YouTubers do, is showing games with a lot of effects. If I was to look at any game, this game probably has a lot in comparison to really what's available on the Mac. I know a lot of people run Tomb Raider. They want to run that, but I would say this is a really good benchmark of... I mean, not necessarily a benchmark because there's no benchmark. It's, you know, everything's open world, but like this is really this represents like a lot as far as like what you can do on this. This is crazy. I opted for the Mini. If you guys were, anybody was wondering, I opted for the Mini just because it was really cheap. I'm broke. No, I just got my camera. So since I got my camera, that was a lot of money. So I didn't have. I like the MacBook Pro, but this is really the same performance, except I saved about $600 with tax, and you really can't beat that. Especially considering my read-write speeds on this is 3,000 megabytes a second, and all the reviews that I'm seeing on the other ones, like the MacBook Air and Pro, they're not even getting anywhere like near 3,000 on both. Only it seems like only on write it does maybe 2,800 megs. So I don't know if it's something to do with the Mini. I really don't, but uh, it's not going to show my ping. Oh, it does show my ping. 1 millisecond response. 1 millisecond response on my ping latency World of Warcraft. I do have AT&T fiber, so I'm not surprised. There might be a server here in St. Louis, an instant server. It's really hard to say, but no, it's showing it right here. 1 millisecond response time, 120 frames a second. Playing on a $699 Mac Mini. All right, there's a lot of effects, 60 frames, 50, 60. Yeah, really, really impressive. For me, I would still obviously like. I don't think I'd ever give up my PC. It's just because I've always had a gaming PC. But uh, yeah, I mean, if this is all you had to buy, this is like cool. Like this is good. Is this a boss fight? All right, so I'm zoomed in, like showing all the spell effects. Worst case scenario. Let me zoom out a little. I know some people said like this is beating their a couple $1,000 gaming computer. I mean it's kind of true. It's because on like Windows, I just feel like a lot of it's unoptimized, and I feel like that's why like Mac is really good. It's because they're able to optimize just everything. Then you get big game developers like Blizzard that are coming on here and they can add support for Metal, and that's really the thing is that's like Fortnite is probably optimized really really good too. I didn't see a PUBG for Mac. There's a couple games I didn't actually see for Mac at all, but let me see. But like when these games are out, like you could tell the difference. Have you ever had an Android phone? And I'm not a, I wouldn't say I'm like a super super iPhone fanboy. I just like it because it works. I set something, it works fine. If you guys remember back in the day, there's this app called Greenify you'd use. You'd be able to disable apps running in the background and kill them. I don't like. It was cool that you can mess with the phone, and I like that you can root it, add all different ROMs and whatnot. But at the same time, I just wanted something that would work. So that's kind of where I went to this approach, and I've not been disappointed at all. I think I came in whenever iPhone came good, back whenever the 6 Plus came in. That was the first iPhone I got, so really good iPhone. Then I moved from the 6S Plus, that was good. Then I moved to the 7 Plus, and then I skipped the 8 Plus. It's because that's when I believe the X came out, and I got the X. And after the X, I got the 10S. After 10S, I got the 11 Pro, and then now I got the 12 Pro I just got. Anybody asking, like, wow, that's really expensive. Not really. I don't know anybody that buys their phones outright. Everything here in America seems to be financed one way or another, it seems. So it's just essentially a monthly payment, pretty much. AT&T Next plan, things like that. You'll pay forever till you die, but you get to have the cool little shiny iPhone, so. But yeah, Apple products pretty good. I mean, obviously they have their specific uses, but like I wouldn't just go like if you needed a computer, like this is probably good, but don't buy this Mac Mini, like if you have any intention of playing like Call of Duty Warzone or any, because it's just not going to work. I wish it was supported; it would be nice, but I just think certain games there might be a little too heavy, even though this is still an impressive chip. I just Call of Duty Warzone seems really heavy on graphics for me, at least, just because of frames per second to try and hit with all the settings on max. It's just I barely get 120 at my resolution with everything maxed out. That's not to say you couldn't do it on here, but I still think PC still has like still you still got to have a PC to do the gaming. So all right, I almost died talking too much. But anyways, so PC gaming is not dead. I don't see any of that. But I mean, considering this goes, you know what? Actually, speaking of which, I did read an article where they were talking about CPUs being add-in cards, everything just being, where you'd buy a card to upgrade, right? So right now we can buy a CPU, we can buy RAM, we can buy all that to upgrade our computer. Well, it gets to the point where we just buy one chip and we upgrade. I don't know. Apple's changing the game up. It's because it's only you guys know it's only a matter of time before PC, Intel, whoever, AMD, whatever gets on this bandwagon and they implement, the whole SoC, everything is built in for the most part. That's still a huge performance increase, but everybody's going to say, "Oh, well, I can't upgrade my RAM." I mean, yes and no. Do you want that performance, or would you rather be able to upgrade your RAM? I'm not saying I'm for or against the right to repair or anything, but as far as like RAM upgrades go, like the speed is just there whenever the RAM's built in. There's no doubt about it. You're looking for performance and stuff, I'd just get the one built in. Like this 8 gig, obviously unified memory is completely different than what we got on Windows. I don't even think we got an equivalent on Windows, but it's just really optimized. It's really 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 smooth. So you know I can live with RAM that's soldered in. I'm okay with that. It all depends on what you want. I have a gaming computer, so I'm not really, like I said, tied down to this. But if you're looking for one computer to do it all, and you like Mac, then you can go Mac. I mean, I'd get the Mini and be cheap. That's all. I'm all about saving the money. All right, where's my? I don't have my pummel. Yeah, really graphical. Still getting 60 frames plus. So good. Seems like any kind of sand or any fine mist, it seems like it drags the frames per second down. But other than that, seems fine. Like with the settings right now, perfectly playable, doing really anything it seems. Another thing to note too, guys, when you drop your resolution, because most people probably aren't playing what I'm playing, you're gonna get a lot more frames per second. So you go to 1080p, you're gonna get a lot more FPS than what I'm getting now. So something to keep in mind: the dips that you're seeing, dropping down from 120 down to 40, down to 60, and then going back up. That's gonna be a lot less noticeable when you have a lower resolution, say 1080p, 720p, which I don't know if there's people playing on 720p, but hey, if you are, that's fine, whatever. But like 1440p and stuff, like this is still running good. 2560 1440p is probably run a little bit better than this too, since it is a little bit lower. Again, 1080p will run probably really really good. Probably get, I don't know if I had to guess, 20 plus more frames minimum. That's really good. If you were to go to, see, I can't really simulate 1080p. I guess I could try, but problem is it really makes the window really small because my resolution's so high. So it's a good and a bad way. If I want to show you guys, like, give you a visual representation of this, like, it's easy to show if the window's full. So I figured doing a dungeon with you guys is probably the easiest way to show you how good this runs. Because you're getting everything. You're getting spell detail. You're getting all these other characters doing different things, moving around, boss fights. Oh, I'm gonna die. Do I not have a... Still pretty good frames. You know. Alt-tab out, 36C. It's really nothing. 500 megabytes, 594 swap, 6.5 used. I remember this. .45 frames. I mean, that's a lot of graphics going on right now. It's still really good. Yeah, what does this do? Iron fur, that's right. Yes, you just watched that FPS counter. Got a lot going on right now. Again, going to lower resolution, you're going to get more frames, so keep that in mind. Play at 1080p, you're going to get probably 20, 30, minimum 20, 30 more, if not more. 37C, that's probably the hottest it's been so far. 37 Celsius, playing World of Warcraft, 120 frames per second, roughly. Doing a dungeon, getting probably, I don't know, average of 60 to 100. No graphical glitches, as you guys can see, right? Everything looks good still. With these graphic settings, it still makes the game look really, really good. See, this is all the way zoomed in. Most effects I can get on the screen. And I'm still getting over 40. It's so responsive still, too. Hi, Captain. This is the boss lady. Somebody popped that bloodlust, huh? I think this video right here is probably more like, this is going to show you more of an idea. She's going to ignite him. This gives you a better idea of graphics. This is going to be the most graphical. Drop anything good? Nothing. Garbage. So a working game computer, this is definitely one you can get for sure. You know, I had a thought I had a interrupt. Maybe I don't. Yeah, this is where the last boss is. That's right. So far I'm impressed doing this dungeon. What is this? I don't... Toll Dagger? Really interested to see what other game makers optimize for metal, you know, for the Mac. That's what I want to see. Because I think this price point, $6.99, it could bring a lot. It's essentially the same, you know, it's not the same price as an Xbox or PlayStation, but it's pretty close. Obviously, it's hard to compare against that because all those games are, you know, there's so much more support. But for a work computer and being able to play the game, it's really good. I haven't even looked at the idea of putting iPhone apps on here either. That's another thing that's pretty interesting to me. What do you guys think so far? Pretty good, right? The whole dungeon run. And just look at how quick that loads. Like a really expensive gaming computer. That's exactly how that loads out. 37 Celsius still. 500 megs, 594 cache. 6.5 gigs memory used. So again, if I had a 16 gig, would it make a difference doing what I'm doing? I don't think so. Might get a little bit more frames, maybe 5 more frames. I don't think that the increase is as big as people think it is. So like to me, that's, you know, why spend more if you don't have to? Obviously, people always say, you know, you want to future proof it and all that, but do you really future proof, or do you just tell yourself you want to future proof it to justify buying it now? Well, the 16 gigs, those are all back ordered till January, so good luck getting one of those for a mini at least. You know, 8 gig is fine. You know, my thought process on it is, I keep it for a year or whatever, however long I need to, and then I can sell it. It's an Apple product. It's going to hold majority, 70+% of its value minimum. So at that, like, you just straight up, you know. It's what I do with my gaming computer. It's what I do with the iPhone. iPhone's a little bit different actually, because that's just a AT&T Next lease essentially. But with my gaming computer, I sold my 8700K that I had. I had that delivered, sold that with a motherboard, RAM, and CPU to, you know, a buddy. So it's like, I moved to the 10900K. I had that for a couple weeks. So it's all about, you know, getting where you want to go. If you want to, if you know, want to try out 8 gigs right now, try out 8 gigs right now. Apple has a holiday return until what, January, so you'd be fine if you want to try it out for a month. But you know, 8 gigs, that's good enough. I mean, again, if you're using it strictly for work where you make money, get the 16 gigs. You got the money to burn, 200 bucks. It's not bad at all. But like for me, having you know, expensive gaming computer here to the right, couple grand, and then having this mini that's $699, like as you guys are seeing, there's not a limit for the RAM that I'm hitting right here. Like it's not hitting a limit on anything, so unless I see a need for it, it's not really worth spending the $200, in my opinion. Because you guys are able to see exactly what you're able to do. Obviously, it's a little bit different workload, but give you a general idea. I'm playing at this high resolution, and you see the RAM is. I still got a little breathing room, which is fine. And before everyone says, well, you want to future proof it because all these big games are coming out, nothing's really changed a whole lot. You know, as far as graphics go, I mean, it's increased a little bit, but as far as being able to run it, I have the settings on low, but the textures at high, and it still looks fine. So, again, I'm okay with the 8 gigs. I do like the fact that everybody gets to experience how fast this is. Any of the Macs, the Mac Mini, Mac Pro, Mac or MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air on Big Sur, because everything is so snappy. It's really good. So now people will actually be able to see, you know, what it is like to have a good computer. So long gone are the days of the spinning disc. And you know, I'm okay with the integrated solid states too. You know, it'd be cool if there was like a you know, because this Mac Mini's, you know, it's not that. It's got a lot of room, right? It's only using like half the space inside. If they had a 2.5-inch dock, but it is what it is. I'm not mad about it or anything. Again, you go buy external storage, guys. You guys plug that in, it's just as fast. 2.5-inch, anyways. What caps out at 500 megs? Go, you know what you get to solve the problem? You go buy a SATA to USB adapter for $5 on Amazon. Go buy you a cheap SSD, 2.5-inch, and then just plug it in. You got fast storage now. No, it's not the same, but considering what I use at least, like I could put World of Warcraft, what I'm playing right now, on an external drive and run it just fine. So I mean, Is what it is. Obviously, my approach, like what I'm showing you guys, is a lot different than other YouTubers. You know, I don't have any of the fancy graphics or anything like that. I just kind of like showing like my experience with it without all the fluff. If that makes sense. And I know a lot of people appreciate that and they want to see that. When I want to see something online, I want to get straight to the point. Though I still like watching all those guys, but I think you get what I mean. So I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm just killing stuff, but graphics wise, like this is the little haze, little fog here in this Barrel Knoll Cemetery. $50 frames. So any kind of fog, any fog, any kind of mist that tanks F frames per second, you could see. Get away from these guys. So far, so good, though, you know. Everything's still nice and sharp and crispy. But yeah, Heroes of the Storm, that ran really good. I don't know what was wrong with Dota 2. That's just not optimized at all, really. I know a lot of people play it, though. Oh, is this a pig farm? Well, Betsy the pig. She's gonna kick my ass. I do get a line right here. You guys can probably see. It's probably something to do with the game. Like the internally, not with the Mac Mini. See this line. Same thing on PC. 36C right now. Another guy. Who's this guy? That was a Worgen. 120 frames. Yeah, baby. Well, that looks really good, doesn't it? The human models, they definitely upgraded those. It was pretty good. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys like that little short dungeon run that I did, just showing, you know, how it runs when you're actually doing a dungeon, as far as how much frames per second you get, how the Mac Mini handles that and whatnot. Temperatures all, like I said, low 30s, no problem there. So, you know, World of Warcraft, you know, it's really the only graphical game that I got that I have for the Mac that will work on the Mac. As you can see, I'm getting max frames still not getting hot at all. Just real quick, let's see, what exit game. 84 meg swap use. You see my memory pressure drop down by half. When I got that dropped, memory pressures, everything's clearing up. There was one thing I've noticed. Some people will do like a Blackmagic speed disk test, and they're getting really low speeds. I'm just wondering what the deal is with that. It's because I did it, and I'm getting I'm getting 3 gigs read write essentially. All right, so 3,000 you see right, 3,000 almost 2,900 read. So like most people that I'm seeing running these tests, like other YouTubers, like they're running them on like a MacBook Pro or MacBook Air, which should still be the same SSD as this. But look at the speeds I'm getting. I'm getting the same speed on pretty much both read and write. That's really, really good. I didn't see that on anybody else's, and that's what's strange. I don't know if I got the unicorn one. I don't know if I got lucky, but just looking at the read and writes, they're pretty much identical, read and write together. So close. You can see memory pressure. Everything is so much lower now. And that very well could be why I'm getting 2,900, 3,000 read write, is because that's a little bit lower. But yeah, I noticed this is the same, and it's like that whenever I have my NVMe drives in my PC. It's close to about the same on read write, and on the Mac, from what I'm seeing, is usually like the write's higher than the read for some weird reason. But as you can see here, they're both neck and neck, and this is running it consistently back and forth. So really impressed by it for sure. Yeah, low memory still. Shoot, my temperature's at 31. That's idle temperature for my computer. That's not even, I'd love to have this all the time. But yeah, been uptime for an hour and a half. I've been making this video. It's been about an hour and a half actually. And yeah, it's still working great. So if you guys have any questions for me, drop them down in the comment section down below. Appreciate you guys watching, checking this all out with me. I just wanted to run a dungeon, see like what I would actually get playing the game, for the most part. Obviously, raid's going to be probably a little bit more intensive, but for the most part, that dungeon it handled that just fine, all without even getting hot. That's the strange part. I still can't get over is how cool it stays under load. So yeah, 1% CPU usage, 22% RAM usage, 30 Celsius. Speed test. I'm getting my gigabit on here. 1 millisecond ping on World of Warcraft. I'm doing all that on a Mac Mini. That is just crazy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe, please subscribe. I want to get down to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm at about six something right now. So I'd like to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.